Hey everybody, welcome back. I am here today to do one of the leaves I picked up. This is an oak leaf, and I found it as I was walking in the park. And yesterday I did a maple leaf, but these had some different colors. Today I'm going to be using basically yellow ochre, a little bit of green mixed with some brown to mute it down, and some burnt umber. I'm using my Paul Rubens set of paints here, but I'll link some other watercolor sets below. And I'm also using a different sketchbook. So this is a new sketchbook. I haven't even used it yet. It's the Etchr line of sketchbooks. I've heard wonderful things about them. This is actually the first time I just opened it, and it says Etchr Lab. I'll link the Etchr line of products below, but we'll see how it works. And it's cold pressed paper. It's not as heavy. It's only 230 GSM, which is not quite 140 pound, but I have seen reviews on it and heard different things. Who knows? You know, until you try it for yourself, you just don't know. But I'm going to give you my first impressions here. I've already taken the leaf, sketched it out. I didn't trace it exactly, but I kind of, you know, sketched it to the way I thought it matches up pretty good. I just kind of held it here and took my pencil and went around it, so it's not a perfect trace, but and you can feel free to sketch it out or just do a loose oak leaf. I'm going to set it up here on my paper so I can look at it, and I might try to capture some shadows. I don't know yet. I'm using my Princeton Summit number 8 round, and I'm liking these brushes. You know, they don't hold a ton of water, but they hold enough, I believe. And I've got my rigger here, number 2 rigger to do, and this is by Creative Mark. You can get any long, these got especially long bristles here to keep a straight line. Mine are kind of overused, so they're kind of fraying a bit, but when you get them in water they go right back. So we'll see if we need this. I probably will use this for the veining, so let's get to it. We're going to do it like we did yesterday on the last maple leaf, is I'm going to go in with a wet, and I'm going to start with some yellow, and I'm just going to keep my edges wet as I paint this. I'm going to drop in a little green here where I see it around the stem, and it's mainly going to be yellow and green and little bits of brown at the end. And we're just going to see how this sketchbook works, because, you know, it's about, sometimes it's about how well the water absorbs into the paper and doesn't just sit on top. So I'm going to take my tip of my, you know, you can get a pretty good fine line with the tip of this brush. And here we go. We just don't want to let a wet edge get dry, or else we're going to have hard lines. A lot of times, you know, when you're painting, you really don't like the looks of it until the second layer. Taking the tip of my brush at a 90-degree angle just so I can get those fine points. Get a little bit of green, drop it in there. A little bit more yellow. You want to take your time so you don't go out of the lines, but you don't want to take a ton of time to where the edges dry. You want to get a nice fine point. I hear that this paper does better with not causing cauliflowers or blossoms. Okay, so let's take some brown and drop it in. I'm seeing some brown up here. I'm seeing some brown over here. Seeing some brown along the vein. Some more brown up here at the tips of the leaves. I'm going to make my part of my stem brown. And then I'm going to go back and drop some yellow in there as well. Seeing some brown right through here. I'm just going to blend that out a little bit. The paper seems to be staying wet. I'm going to take, let's see if I can't make some of that veining. While it's still wet. And it's starting to dry up there. And we'll get this. Okay. So I think we'll let this dry completely. And I might drop a little bit more yellow in there. Okay, so let's let this dry, see how it turns out. Put a little bit of yellow on my stem there. Let's get a little bit more concentrated pigment right out of the pan. We'll put some brown right there at the... Oh, It's not going to let me. So, okay, we'll stop the video right there and we'll come back and we'll finish it up after it dries. Okay, guys, I'm back. This is completely dry. It looks like it's done really well. I'm not seeing any back runs, you know, maybe a little bit here, but I think I kind of forced it. I'm going to put another glaze on there just because I want it to be a little bit more saturated. So I'm going to put another glaze of yellow ochre. I'm not going to go all the way up into those little edges. This paper seems to be really good, and you know, I definitely would recommend it. I had to take it over to my hairdryer because it was drying so slowly, and really that's kind of what you want in the paper, because you know, that will prevent those back runs in watercolor. So I'm just wanting to make this a little bit more saturated to get, you know, more of that beautiful golden color of this pin oak leaf. Went outside the lines there a little bit. Don't matter because nothing is totally even anyway. I might go up there. Yeah. Yeah, I really enjoy the saturation of the yellow. Okay, so we'll let that dry again and come back and put our final layer on there. Okay, so here we're going to take our rigger brush. This is a number 2 rigger. You could use just a small little brush, or little spotter, you know, anything really small. Might even try that. See, the one thing about the rigger brush is it does hold a lot of paint. So I'll show you here. And I'm not going to use this as a very it's a very thin line, and this is a very, you know, watery mix. So I'm going to dot and hold that brush up against my paper towel so I don't have too much water in it. I'm going to mark it on, just make sure it's not too dark. And these veins, I'm just going to follow. They come from the bottom of the stem, and I'm just going to take it up, and it goes up to here, and then it comes from here over to here, and from here over to here. And I always want to take it off, because if you don't, then the water just pours out of it. So I'm going to take that and go there. And this one comes down from about right here It goes up to there. It goes there. And then it just comes down. Okay, so this comes down from here, from there. Okay, now we're going to go might need a little bit more water in that. It looked a little bit too brown. Get that water off. And this comes like from down here, goes up there, goes. So, and it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just kind of getting if you can kind of make them squiggly, they look more natural. So I'm going to kind of go over them again and make them not okay. So I think we're going to let that dry. And I am going to put a little bit of darkness right in here. And right in here. Right in here. I'm just looking at the leaf. There seems to be patches of darkness right next to the stems. On either side of the stem. And I want to represent that. And these tips seem to have really dark edges. Or they've just kind of really have met their match. They're ready to go to sleep. Okay, maybe another one over here. And you can always take your black fine liner. But these have some nice hard edges already. So you know, I think this is going to be really good paper, but you know, there are always downsides. It's quite expensive. You know, this one sketchbook is like $30. So, you know, but it is a good sketchbook. But I think it's 100% cotton. And you are going to pay the price for that. But it does make a world of difference in how your paint lays down. So I'm going to put a couple more dots of green in this leaf. Maybe right here. And right up here. Just where it hasn't quite took over yet. And it's still showing some signs of life. Okay, I think I'm seeing one more thing. I'm seeing some little darkness right here. So I'll link this sketchbook in the description below, and I'll actually to the whole line of Sketcher products at Jackson's Art Supply. I've been buying from there. I really enjoy their products. They have a button where you can, they're a company based out of the UK, but they have a link to shop in US dollars, so you don't have to figure that amount, what it's going to cost in American money compared to European money. So, but they have a huge range of supplies, and their prices are a lot of times a lot better than even, you know, American art supplies, what you would buy at different art stores. So you just have to do your comparison shopping. And they don't have these Paul Rubens. I've got these off of Amazon, and I'll see if I can find a link below for that. But you know, I got this for the cuteness factor because they came in a pink box and a pink tin. I can't tip it over right now because it's got wet paint in it, but you know, you can get some really cute little 12 set pans, really good paint for reasonable prices at Jackson Art Supply. So they have their own name brand too, which is really good paint. So we'll come back and we'll finish this off with some fine liner. It may be dry to where we can do that. Yeah. Okay. Let's go here with a micron. It's a little bit smaller than a Sharpie. And I like to get these, and I'm just going to kind of go around the tips here. You know, and you don't have to go around the whole thing. Sometimes that makes it a little cartoony, but just to define these edges if you want it a little bit more realistic. and kind of just sharpens it up a little bit. I've really enjoyed painting all this fall stuff, the pumpkins and go around these. Dark spots a little bit. Just halfway, not the whole way. Yeah, I think that this paper's really good. This would be a great gift for an artist for Christmas. You know, for a child, I'd probably get him the Strathmore Visual Art Journal, which Jackson's has as well. And that's what I did the maple leaf in yesterday. And for kids, you know, it's a good way for kids to start. But the paint doesn't settle into the paper like this. But for a kid learning, I think the Strathmore is a little bit more affordable because they tend to go through it pretty quick. You know, they put some paint on a paper and they don't like it, so they turn and start over immediately. Rather than work through it. So, okay. I think that's where I'm going to stop. I'm just seeing a little couple things as I go along where it's kind of... Alright, we're going to call that, I'm going to name it. This is a pin oak, and I'm going to sign my name to it. And it is still October. October is when I've been doing all things fall. So that doesn't look exactly like that, but I do really like it. So I think it turned out really well. Alright, thanks for watching this video, guys. Talk to you later. Like and subscribe. Bye. See you next time.